Hello everyone, I'm Connie Brathwaite, and this is my presentation on Papua New Guinea for AEG 106 Oceanic Studies. Just a forewarning for this presentation, I am going to be talking about the social inequality of Papua New Guinea, and unfortunately, a lot of this presentation will include mentions of physical violence, gang violence, domestic abuse, and sexual violence, and if that makes you uncomfortable, it is totally alright to click out of this video and research it when you have another time. Just know you are loved and supported wherever or whoever you are. Just off the bat, I am showing a image of New Guinea as a whole. Papua New Guinea is a sovereign nation, so there is a direct border separating it from Indonesia, where there is a lot of cultural overlap, just due to the fact that a lot of native indigenous Papua New Guineans can be part of Indonesia or be part of Papua New Guinea itself. It is just very important to hold that distinction. Papua New Guinea had a very early settlement, bare minimum of 50,000 years, and they were, average settlement with strong agriculture, self-governed, and lots of diverse cultural groups, with them speaking over 800 languages, which I believe is actually very cool to this day. The societal role for Papua New Guinea, they were organized by clans and kinships and networks. The land was held by customary matters and ownerships, and still is to this day. I believe 90% of Papua New Guinea is still land ownership is customary. However, with early settlement, there's always conflict. And the conflict was more localized between clans and wasn't done for no reason, not for any gang type related things, just either revenge, custom, or status. Like many early settlements in the Pacific Islands, they were unfortunately colonized, and their colonization started in 1884 by the Germans, who colonized the north of New Guinea, and then later on, Britain controlled south of New Guinea, and then after World War I, Australia controlled both. But it's also very, very important to note that Australia was colonized by Britain, so it's kind of a double rule there. In 1901, that is when Australia gained their own independence, and then in 1975, Australia gave Papua New Guinea their independence, which is again why you might see some overlaps with Indonesia, Australia, and Papua New Guinea, just because that whole general area had a lot of overlapping colonization and tragedies. I'll keep this part brief, where I will be talking about the major impacts that colonization had on Papua New Guinea. And unfortunately, like many other Pacific Islander nations, their religion was overruled and Christianity took over. The colonial government replaced the local government structures, which threw them into a bit of chaos. And then colonial inequality. The Europeans, of course, controlled the wealth administration in the land, taking away from the native people and what the land truly meant to them. After Papua New Guinea gained their independence in 1975, not only was their land colonized, but so were their people. They were left with geographical challenges, which made it difficult to make deliveries and modernize their land, which they did not need to do, but during the day and age and how Australia left them, it was rather vital that they adapted. Another impact colonization had was forcefully unifying the said very vast and diverse cultural groups into one very large state, giving no room for understanding and proper unification on their own terms, leading to conflict over land, resources, and more. It did not help as well that the native people of the land received very minimal profit from their own resources of their own land. They did manage to regain government independence and control, but not without corruption, which significantly worsened the inequality between the natives of the land, and this is where it becomes quite an issue for different groups. There are many problems currently affecting day-to-day life in Papua New Guinea, one of the largest being sexual violence and abuse. There is a large popularity around prostitution and human trafficking, even though it's illegal. It's very normalized and often practiced. The worst person to be in Papua New Guinea is a woman, as very unfortunately, 2 in 3, which is 70%, of women are likely to be raped their whole entire lives. This can be domestically in marriages or even gang initiations, as the culture surrounding treating women poorly is very widespread and popular. Alongside with their sexual violence, there's a very serious HIV epidemic, and with little government involvement with the native people, many succumb and fall victim to this disease. Other things such as homosexuality is greatly frowned upon due to it still being illegal, causing yet more social violence and social stigma to individuals in this group. In the end, colonization very tragically weakened the bond of the people in Papua New Guinea, creating seemingly impossible systematic barriers to break. Despite this, not all hope is lost, as there are still very many human rights activists doing their best to defend the people and help them get back on their feet. Though it seems like a lot of work, it can be done. Papua New Guinea is a beautiful place with beautiful people. It is just very important that they treat their people, land, and selves with the love and respect that they once had. As this presentation comes to an end, I would like to show this image of a native Papuan woman in the 1800s, photographed by E.W. Pearson Chinnery. In the past, scarring was a ritual to show off beauty and bravery, and that begs the question if the woman and other victims of modern-day violence in Papua New Guinea are still seen as beautiful and brave with their scars. Reconnecting with culture in any way possible and redefining what bravery and beauty means to them can be something that will greatly help the people of New Guinea grow stronger together and re-strengthen their bond as people. Thank you so much for watching my presentation.